me and Kurt separated. He went up to one smaller canyon to the right, and I stayed to the left because I remember there were some thicker layers. But if you come up to this oasis to look for the dinosaur tracks, you see that those layers, dark, kind of papery thin layers. That was the bottom of the lake. And this was no small mud puddle in the sand. This was a well-established ecosystem, and they were in most of the troughs of the dunes. So I'm in, not a mile, but half a mile from the highway, and these layers extend all the way to the highway and then underneath the road into the rock. But see how thick they are. So the tracks and the life, unless they were walking around on the bottom and stuff that would burrow in the bottom of a mucky lake, would be above them. In other words, on the sides, the slopes, the muddy areas where animals would burrow right next to the water. But you see what I mean? This goes up the hill, and the layers are way thicker than they were when we started. And so this was a massive lake. We would have had long-lasting, well-established life and trees and dinosaurs working it. Some of the first dinosaurs. If you're looking for tracks, by now, if you see the vastness of the area, you get an idea. You could be looking for tracks all day. If you don't know where they are, then it's hard to locate them because there's a lot of rocks out here. But a couple pointers. Okay, this material here, that's the bottom, limey stuff that accumulated on the bottom of the Oasis Lake. And so the tracks would be within this if they were walking along on the bottom. But this material here would be before this water developed, before this standing water developed. And it was good water, by the way. They know that the material cycled through the sand, and the water was not like a stinky bog. No, it was good water, just like an oasis is today. But the point is that this dark material, that's the time zone that the Oasis Lake existed, which could have been tens of years. It could have been hundreds of years. I don't know if I would say thousands. But the point is that, see there to the left, the water wasn't there yet. There would be no reason to expect dinosaur tracks there. They would be above it on the shoreline and the slopes. See there? And then the rains would do stuff like flood down sand. The sand, remember the sand wasn't rock. It was sand, and so it'd get wet during monsoons, and it'd collapse material down the slopes. And so you have different formations. Also, some animals burrowed. They made burrows. And those you can spot because it will break the strata. You'll be able to tell that it was something burrowed in there. Those are common. And some of the burrows are bigger than like a big dog. See, you've got to picture these layers progressing vertically. And so there at the bottom, you picture the trough of the sand dunes and the water table. Sometimes it inundated wet. It'd almost always be wet, the sand itself, but no lake established. And so then it started, you had standing water for a day or two. Okay, but the sand was still wet. Okay, that's what that material is there. It was water saturated for long periods of time before the lake developed. That's what it looks like when you see it. Okay, but this material, during a wet season or whatever, a long-standing lake was developed. And that's what this material is. It's layers of carbonates and muck and poop and whatever. And then up here, the lake filled in or went away or whatever. And while this material was here, the tracks and stuff would be on the sides of the slopes. You know, or better yet, you see these layers, they see how they go in. In other words, I'm looking at a cross section. Okay, here's a thought. If I can locate the other side of these layers, that's the true slope, not necessarily just above them. So you're hearing me try to figure things out as I'm filming. But you get the point. This is the bottom. This is the bottom. And it was a well-established lake. For instance, I'm half a mile from the road. So if you picture down there, this was a big, well-established ecosystem.
There's how you could go back.
There's a lot of bighorn tracks, and that's what they are.
Yeah.
These are bighorn.
Yep.
After all, this is one of the best places there is for them. See?
Well, you know, I say that, but you know, all my hiking here, I have so seldom seen a bighorn. Now I've seen.
We're up above the highway now.
Yeah.
We're almost all the way back, but we're up high. And so these layers here are obviously, you know, like water, trapped water, lake bottom. Could it be an extension of that same lake, the same oasis? I don't know. But anyway, I want to show that these layers in among the sandstone, that you can wander for hours in the sandstone, and there's nothing there except the shapes. But when you see these dark layers, that's where water was. And what was in the water and next to it? Life and dinosaurs. So these unusual things here, that's where you want to start looking around to see if you discover something. Not just stare and then you'll see it's sandstone. See, now these layers are on the opposite side from where we hiked in. So the lake, it's not like it ended there at the highway. No, it came across. So here you're in a part of the lake that, okay, it was shallow, and then sand blew in, and then shallow water was standing, and then sand blew in and washed down, and some water was standing, and it repeated the process. So now I'm over like where the lake probably tapered out. But you get the picture. You get the picture how to figure this stuff out. But that's what that is. This here is water. That's water, and that's wet sand or dry sand that blew into water.
It doesn't mean everybody's found the only tracks there are to find.
Oh no, that's what I mean. You could find anything at any moment.
Now look at here.
Yeah.
This is where you're talking with sand, with the sand dune.
Yeah.
See the layer of mud?
Yeah.
And then the layer of sand, and look at this. You got another layer of mud here.
Yeah, that's would be nice.
It looks like a lot, but it's because it's tilted.
Yeah.
You tilt it up, and you're back to about what you were seeing over there, probably.
Yeah. And what's that up there? Does it go up the hill?
Yeah, it goes up. That's more of it. You can do it to bring your cameras. Do it on a day that the kids can come along, and I'll get them. And once you show them what they're looking for,
Yeah.
they can cover a lot of ground.
See, here's some more. So this is a lake bottom. This is documented oasis lake bottom. And so this oasis was a massive complex. No doubt about it. This goes, you know, more than a mile. It could go more. There's some more over there. And so as far as tracks of dinosaurs or things burrowing, anybody could find them anywhere. They could be anywhere. They could happen upon anything at any time. This is a very studied area. See more there and down in there and even way across over there. So this was a massive oasis complex in the low part of the dunes. So I'll have to come back, but after all, when you do see the black layers, you see what's there. And so unless you want to go wandering for miles and look at every rock, you see what you're going to see. It's just mostly the concept that you're seeing 180, 200 million year old oasis with dinosaur tracks walking around the oasis. See, I've got one of those balloons. Those mylar balloons are everywhere, so you know, most people pick them up and take them back to get them out of the desert.